Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jess Leal in this incarnation. Today I am going to talk about criticism and humility. I think these things are a very vital part for the evolution, and this task, making these videos for me was a big step to transcend those things. I am still learning, of course, because I have an ego and I am human. But when I started my Spanish channel, which has more subscribers and a lot more interaction than this one yet, I experimented a lot of criticism because, of course, we can't like everybody, and because we live in a world that people doesn't act in many ways. Sorry, they don't behave with love. We have to understand that we don't live in that world yet. We're going there. The planetary process, it's about create a new society. That's why the change starts with us. It starts with myself in this case. So I want to talk about this because many times our ego can act in a way that we are trying to be condescending, or we are trying to not hurt somebody, for example, and maybe we are putting ourselves aside and we are putting our truth aside, and this happened many times with myself in the past and in the recent past. So I think it's very important to be truthful to what we feel and what we think, but truthful doesn't mean we have to be aggressive, or we have to be we have to behave like it came to me a word that I don't think it's very correct, but yeah, we don't have to be assholes. So I think it's important to learn about this criticism, because every time that someone criticizes, and this it doesn't care if that person it's doing that because they are projecting things onto us, or they actually are trying to communicate something and transmitting it from love. We really can sense this, because when people act from love, they are trying to explain and to say things to open the dialogue. And when people is trying to only to project, and they are rejecting parts of them, it's their inner child shouting, and you don't even understand what are criticizing you. It's like whatever thing, it's an excuse for saying bad things, so it's important to understand that if criticism punches us in somewhere, it's of course the mirror law acting, because if it's generate something inside us, we have to see that. But it's important to detect what kind of a criticism it's helping us, because maybe that person it's not saying that in a good way, but it still helps us to evolve. So that's when we need humility, because even if that person it's not lovable at all saying that, or is projecting too, but what is saying really touches us in some way, they're saying something that could be valuable for us. Of course, that in the other case, when there are people that they are only projecting their inner child, and we don't feel anything about what they are saying. We are feeling bad because of the critic, but they are not saying something that has sustained, you know, in I mean, the content of what they are saying is not something that is helpful for us. We have to dismiss that and keep going, of course, because we can't be liked by everyone in this world. That's not going to happen. And again, we don't live in a society that people act always with respect, because there's a lot of unconscious people. There's a lot of people that didn't understand that they are more than their egos, their minds, their body, this reality. So we can't pretend for everybody, act in the same way that we would do. This is a fantasy, it's not real. But I think many of us has this programmation about criticism. I had it too, because my bond with my mother was really, she was a very critical person, and I always felt I always had this programmation about not being enough, always there was something wrong always for her. So I had this programmation too, and of course she treated me like that way because she was treated and educated that way by her own parents, her own parent really, because my grandma abandoned her when she was a child. She had a tough childhood. So and I will tell more about her in other videos, because I will explain other things, and she gave me permission about this, to expose some things about our bond together, so many of us had this programmation about being criticized, and so that develops in a very that we become very sensitive about critics. And I think for the ego in general, it's not easy to accept that they could be that we could be wrong. Nobody likes to make mistakes, but there are no mistakes if we are learning, and we have to know that mistakes are part of the learning. There's no lesson without mistakes, because we can't expect to do everything right. It's another fantasy. It's not possible, actually. It's not possible, and it's not acting from love with ourselves to pretend that that it's a type of exigency so high that it's totally impossible to accomplish. So that's why I think critics are very important. Of course, we all prefer that people can approach us in a way that comes from love. I think we all choose that way, but that's not the way it happens always. And when it comes to social networks, social media, the people only maybe they throw words because the air is free, and so we have to people who are exposing like me and a lot of people who are exposing themselves in social media have to deal with this. It's not an option not to deal with this. It happens. It's important to know that maybe some people could project out their inner child tantrum and that's because they have wounds like everybody, like everyone, and they are not seeing that wounds, and they don't want to see them. They project them because they don't want to see them, because it really causes so much pain. When people are acting that way, they are protecting themselves from that wound, and we have to we can think about this to active compassion, in ourselves, and just dismiss many opinions or things that could be said to us. But I think it's very important to focus on this, on the content of the people, not the way, the content of what they are saying, because the content will be the main thing, and if really touches us inside, we can get better persons, better people, if we take it and we work in ourselves. I think this was a very useful thing for me in all this process. I started with this 2 months ago, but it was this task. It's something that it's really changing me. It's giving me lessons day to day. I think I am doing like an accelerated process, and I'm learning a lot of things, and I'm learning about compassion with people, because they are not adults shouting at me or projecting. They are they are childs that have wounds. It's simply like that. Of course, that doesn't mean that we have to tolerate everything, or insults or words that are not appropriated. But again, when we are exposing things in social media, we can't avoid that. But we can do something in life. But I think every time we have to approach those people, we can put a healthy boundary, but always from love. Because if the things we don't do from love will pose a karmic return. And with karmic, I'm not talking about something wrong or bad or good. I'm talking only that something is returning, something we posed before. So what we are given, it is going to return. So that person will not understand. Maybe if we act from love, that person won't understand either. But at least we did the best that we could. So that's why I think it's very important, and it's important to say that if we don't recognize that we have things to get better, we don't have to be in extremes. It's not I am never enough, and it's not I don't have anything to work on. It's not we're trying to be in neutrality. Neutrality is just to know that we are humans, that we are learning, and we have to get better every day, and do our best every day, even if that day we didn't give what we would wish. So I don't think if I used that word correctly. Sorry, I am still trying to getting better at my English, because I told you so that I didn't use it for many years. So again, humility is a very, very important part of this process. Even if we are people that we get many things, and we have a power, and we have success, whatever success means to you, even if we are there, or what is most, I think if we are there, we have to active humility more than ever, but in all the process too, because evolution can't be developed without recognize we have things that are not working, or we have masks from the ego that we have to take off. It's very important. So I will finish here. Thank you, everybody. See you in next videos. Ciao, ciao.